right, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving over to the North American side of things here at the DreamHack Spring Masters 2020. And it's time for us to get this game underway. It's 100 Thieves taking on Gen.G. And well, to look at this crazy action, we've got Potter and Pimp joining us, and I am so excited for this one, guys. This is actually, we've had spicy games all day, but this is probably the game I was looking forward to most, just because of how much it can come down to in what this group has to offer, and also what we've seen from North America so far. So I want to look at this group in a little bit more detail, because I am so ready for this.
It's all over the place right now. There's nobody who knows who's the best team in NA anymore, I'd say. So I think Gen.G is a great candidate for it. I think they've been playing some super solid Counter-Strike as of lately, and they've probably been the most consistent team together with Furia. But you look at these names in the group, you think to yourself, Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves, they are the main favorites to go through right here. And then it should be between Gen.G and Cloud9 to fight for it. But I'd even go as far as saying, Christine, that I think Gen.G is the best playing team within this group right now. So that as itself is pretty impressive.
That is really impressive. And I mean, just saying that, I have to agree with you as well. Gen.G, they're looking fantastic. And the most surprising thing is that you couldn't have said that a month ago. You could have said that 2 months ago, at the maybe a little bit earlier on in the 2020 when they actually won DreamHack Open Anaheim. But the inconsistencies of Gen.G, the development period of Daps, bringing out Bentet, bringing out Som, trying to find that superstar performance out of these individuals, we actually saw that throughout Flashpoint. But now online, you're right, Jacob, they've been the most consistent team in North America. And I gotta say, I think the most exciting team as well.
Oh yeah, really. They have so much firepower behind this team. Bentet finally unleashed and able to play at his maximum level. He's got a great in-game leader behind him as well. And let's look at this, right? Gen.G, not just result-wise, have been looking good, but they just look like a solid team that's already found a lot of synergy here, despite not being together for that long, realistically.
Yeah, and I think it's super impressive that Debs once again is assembling a team and making them more or less successful within a very short amount of period, right? All these players you see on the screen right here, they're not players that have won big tournaments. They're players that have a lot of skill, have a lot of potential. You talk about Bentet, you know, he was for such a long time stuck within Tyloo, and I say stuck because he was so much better than him, right? He was a player that we thought that give him a spot in Liquid, give him a spot in Cloud9, give him a spot in one of the best North American teams back in the days, and he would still perform. Now he finally got the chance on the Depths leadership, and they all perform. Automatic, Kusta, two players who've been within the North American scene for a long time, especially Automatic. He's won a major before with Cloud9. There's a lot of skill, there's a lot of experience, and there's a mix of hunger and young kids in there as well. So I really like this project, and I think the way they've been playing so far makes it very exciting to watch them play Counter-Strike. Going up the Thieves today, it can only be a good match.
Well, I want to hear from Gen.G and see how ready they are for this matchup.
I think it doesn't matter if it's online or LAN, our motivation will be still high. But it's definitely different between online and LAN, because LAN is more exciting for me. I think my motivation is still the same.
He can win this round. He could. He gets the lineup too. It's only going to be Daps, and he finds. Can't turn around. Can't pivot onto Jacob. Excuse me, onto Kusta. Don't worry, this fight's certainly still here. A little bit of time left, and now that's all gone awry. The bomb being planted, and they're getting eaten alive. Liaz, Bentet, one-on-one with the bomb planting the A site. Bentet comes out on top.
I would say all of individual players in NA is the same. Like, everyone have a good skill. 100 Thieves have a good skill, and many other teams also have a good skill. We just gonna play our best game. Nothing gonna change that much. I think against 100 Thieves, we know how they play, and we just gonna play our game. We're not gonna prepare that hard for them for 100 Thieves. I think if we can show up again like the last time, I think we can win the match.
Bentet being super nice there, but I think realistically he knows he's probably one of the best players and better than most of the North American players. He's now finally been unleashed in this. I'm loving it.
I don't know if he was being too nice there. I think there was a low-key shade thrown in there from Hansel Ferdinand. He was saying, we're not going to really prepare for 100 Thieves because they're not really worth it. But, you know, sometimes we do see this overconfidence come back and bite these players in the butt. But you know what? I think the confidence is well-deserved as it should be, because Gen.G, they've been looking hot.
And they've got to keep this going as well, because moving on to 100 Thieves, They just today announced that I'm a Pet, Mr. Chet, he's going to come in to start coaching them. And he sees a lot of what this team has to offer. He said, right, that this is a team that has got that young and hunger to him that he believes that can work in his favor, like he had at the beginning of his NRG days.
Yes, and that whole coaching discussion is going to be super, super interesting to follow, because Kassad was the guy that, when you look at him, right, the way he's animating the players, the way he's a very explosive person there, he's very loud as well when he stands behind them. I think that's one thing that Thieves was thriving with, because when you look at the players on the lineup, they're very calm, they're very collective, there's not a lot of voices going on within that lineup, so having that outside coach, that brings in some variety, I guess, is a good thing. You look at Amapet, I think personality-wise and judging by the players, he's a great fit for them, but maybe they need that extra spark coming out from someone outside. So, of course, he can definitely add some value when it comes to coaching, when it comes to analyzing, but is he the right fit in terms of personality and in terms of getting these players animated? I'm not so sure. Regardless of that discussion, it is online right now, so I think, what Kassad does the best, which is animating his players, it's not really a factor anymore, the fact that we're not playing in arena events. So for now, I think they'll be fine, but moving on to the future, I'm going to be super interested to see whether or not Amapet can get these players fired up when they take on a stage.
Well, let's hear from 100 Thieves and see what they've got to say about this matchup, considering they lost the last time these two teams faced.
I think last time we played versus Gen.G, we came in kind of underestimating them a bit. We're feeling like they weren't very strong before the game, and I think this time we will not do the same mistake. This time we'll come into the game like really focused and actually just take them down, like beat them.
Here, Daps will get dealt with over at short side. A nade spotted over in CT has given up Som's position close. The Molotov. Oh, JKS in with another, and now just Som left to find. He's played it to perfection.
If we were playing them like 10 times, I reckon we would beat them most of the times. Any environment, any tournament, any place, to be honest. I think we have the better individuals for sure. When it comes to teamwork, I also think we have the better team book. If they come to strat book, they might have a deeper strat book, even though I don't think so. I don't think we feel any special pressure, to be honest. I think we're ready, but like in-game, mentally, everything, and prepared that we should be able to beat them. I think we are the better team. Even though we lost to them last time, I think we still are the better team. And so, yeah, I believe we'll just beat them like without too much of a struggle, to be honest.
Well, I'm all for the confidence of JKM there, thinking that they're the better team, but now they've got to really show it. And even though he says, okay, the last result didn't matter so much, it actually is a bit of a proving point here. And now with the new coach in play, a lot has to change for these guys.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot needs to change. And that's where it gets kind of interesting, right? Because I think a lot will be changed. I just read an interview with the new coach, Amapet, stating that the old 100 Thieves didn't do very much VOD review in the past, and now he's starting to restructure everything on this team, starting to add his own flair to this squad. So I think he's going to make these players go out of their comfort zones, and I'm not sure exactly what that end result will be in the server today in this series. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think the struggle will be real.
Yeah. I'm shocked about that VOD review comment, right? Like, that's basics that any team should be doing, especially at this level. Have you ever heard of that, Pim?
No, I have not, but again, we don't really know the inner workings of this lineup, and I think, of course, Kassad have been preparing. Some teams, they prefer that it's only the coach who prepares for a lineup, and then the coach's job is to tell the players what to be looking out for, whereas some teams, they want to be very involved in the whole demo review and stuff. Some players thrive better when they don't know too much about their opponents and can just play their own game, and some players thrive super, super well when they know every little detail of the opponent. So it also depends on how the players feel on the team, but no matter what, it's a quite interesting statement, let's put it that way.
Now, last time these two teams faced off, we got Mirage, Dust 2 and Inferno. So let's see how this veto is going to go this time around and if there'll be any big differences coming out early on.
Yeah, no Virgo, no Mirage, makes sense. Overpass coming in from the Thieves again. I think that's very interesting, as none of these two teams the past 3 months have played Overpass. So that's a bit of a pocket pick coming out from the Thieves right here.
Okay. And the Inferno Decider as well coming out there. Now, looking at this, what do you make of it? Do you think this is good? Yeah, Christine's like, how does this work?
This veto threw me off completely, just because 100 Thieves, they always vetoed out the Overpass in the past.
Yeah.
and now they're picking it. This is impressive. This is what I'm a Pet was alluding to, saying that there's going to be a lot of changes coming in for this 100 Thieves squad, and you can see it right here by picking that overpass right off the bat. I mean, that in itself, that's a ballsy move.
I like it because it tells us that the Thieves have been practicing. They've been working on the map pool. They've been working on getting better. As we also talked about, it's been a bit of a rocky start to the year for them. It hasn't necessarily been too bad, but it's not been good either. Now, obviously, with the coach changing as well, it's good to see them trying to implement some new stuff into the map pool. And as said, I think this game is going to be super interesting. And for one of the first and most obvious reasons, the maps that we're going to play out here, overpass. We don't see any of these teams play it. And now they both apparently have been practicing it.
Yeah. And not only that, but you saw on the chart there that there's a 0%, a big fat 0% for Gen.G as well. They don't play it. So really, this veto tells me that Amapet, he's no longer wanting to just play it safe. He wants to go for the win and the kill right here, starting with the veto. So that's respectable.
I'm loving it. And I can't remember the last time I've seen two teams pick into a map that they've had not played in the last few months, like at all. Do you remember any examples of that?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Mad Lions all of a sudden pull out a Vertigo for the first time, right? But apart from that, no, we don't see teams really, I'd say, make up a new map pool in the middle of a tournament. It's more teams, that constantly complain about the fact they don't have time to practice, they don't have time to innovate new maps or include new maps into their map pools. But finally, we have a time now where both of these teams have had a few weeks off, and they actually use that wisely and try to implement some new maps into the map pool. So enough with the complaints about not having time to it. Let's see what you got in the overpass.
They're looking to show us what they've got. The preparation has clearly been done, but it's time for us to go to a break. And when we come back, we get to kick off this series between 100 Thieves and Gen.G.
Yeah. NACS is what we're back with. Another installation. It's Group B. It's an opening matchup. There are questions all over the place, and it's not just around the veto, although that is a big one. Overpass in the mix. Who's going to pick up this series? Predictions not made official by the analysts, but if you guys are into predictions, make sure you head over to DreamHackPick'ems.com. And if you check the leaderboards, yours truly, 17th position. If I'm the highest ranked Canadian in the Pick'em predictions, that's got to be a problem. Okay, guys, step your game up, get participating, and get into the action just like we're about to here on Train. Map 1, 100 Thieves to the CT side, Gen.G on the offense. Launders, take it away.
Let's go, baby. I am hyped up. You want me to cast this pistol round, dude? Let's go.
Do it.
I'm down. All right, I'll
Hit
take
me with
this.
it.
Number 5 man, JKS. First man up to bat, looking for some action. He'll find it, and it's a bit too soon. He'll now fall back. The server falls quiet, and it'll be Gen.G. Now they've established Boxhall's control to reassemble and think about potentially an outside take. We've got a couple of players here outside of T-Con that are prepping their smokes. Jacob kind of out in the open. When the smokes land, they might land around him and allow him some space to work. So he's going to hope that that's going to happen. He'll see the cascading smokes come over the site. 2 players curled up on the site in the middle of it. 2 rotating in, 1 jumping up top bomb. Jacob, again, the first line of defense. Players dying around him. The team, 100 Thieves, are doing so well to pick up 3 kills for the price of 1 in Aza. He's also going to make a name for the 100 Thieves team. Bentet dies and 100 Thieves win. That's a hold and a half.
Nicely done, both by the team of CTs and yourself, my friend. Here we have it. Azur, big multi-kill, tapping away at their heads. This third one. Oh, yeah.
Laser.
Give me more of that. All
Listen,
map
man.
long, hopefully.
Listen, okay? If you've got the whole community telling you that you've made a bad roster move, think about how fired up you'd be to prove them wrong. Even if this all doesn't work out in the end, you can expect one hell of a honeymoon phase. People are going to be working way harder than they're supposed to just to prove everybody wrong.
Gen.G, such a question mark, and I love it. You know, we're seeing the rise of Cloud9. We're seeing the rise of Furia in this online world of CS. I kind of have high expectations for Gen.G to find themselves up there too. You know, we had a great showing for them at DreamHack Open to start off the year. Coming in, taking scalps. I feel like anytime you have these sorts of projects with Daps at the helm, promise is aplenty. JKS though, savage. 3K spray down over towards the B-bomb site. Som's going to be sent spiraling back towards the ladder into Liaz. Tippity-tapping with the FAMAS. Him and Jacob hold the line. And this is perfect for 100 Thieves because they keep all 5 players up. Hell, they even get to hang on to some grenades.
Hey man, this gets really sketchy for Gen.G if 100 Thieves pick up Train, because we saw on the desk, as was pointed out, that neither team have recorded matches on Overpass. This was a map that was left in the pool by Gen.G when they have banned Vertigo, and that's a map they played in I think their last 3 series. So this was a specific move here from both teams, and they might have known. I don't think they would have known that Overpass was going to be picked. So this could come down to Train in a big way. I'm sure Gen.G are holding their breath at the thought about playing Overpass, and that makes this all the more exciting.
What a stark contrast to the map of Train we had yesterday. Just a bloodbath with Cloud9 versus Evil Geniuses. Cloud9, I don't think they let go of their W keys even for a second. Getting a different look here with Gen.G. I like it. You know, tempered and calculated aggression. They do get a player out of T-Con off of that flash. Jacob's gonna go try to plug the hole with smoke. Som ducking back into cover. And Bentet, he's ready for a headshot here, but he too is blocked off. So just using these smoke grenades to delay the inevitable. Eventually someone's gonna make a move, and we're at that 40-second mark, so get ready.
Listen, maintaining tension is never bad. T's look to press up against now. Into the T-Con. A couple of players again curled up on the site. They're keeping an eye on Ivy, but there's no Ivy players to fight.
This is going to be a bloodbath. Big clash on the outer yard. Seems like Gen.G are going to get the best of it to start, but Az is still up, and he's come in with multi-kills before. Can't manage anything more than the first one. Liaz also empty-handed. That's just going to be JKS 1 versus 4. Now, 3 of these Ts are incredibly tagged, but Som does an excellent job of headshotting him to drop him to 53, and JKS, Yep, he knows. This one's done. Gen.G breaking onto the board. The smoke grenades that kept them at bay until eventually they all decide to sprint into that A site. We had 4 defenders and 5 terrorists all charging at one another, and Gen.G come out on top.
Yeah, they didn't even need to worry about Ivy. One of the most interesting parts was there at the beginning of the round where Som jumps back into T-Con, and it looked like Jacob was coming for him, but it looked like, from Jacob's perspective, he was actually going towards the ladder. That could have been a free frag for Som, and when he gave up the map control, you think, oh my gosh, that misread, will this cost them the round? It could have been a free up. But then Som comes through, picks up that really important opening frag, turns that into more information on the guy back 6. They continue on with the execute and close it out. And that leaves 100 Thieves scratching their heads. They're going to be buying what they can, and that involves 3 FAMASes, a single kit, but enough utility and enough to play with to make sure that their odds stay high. Initial ladder room control. Liaz is out here by himself at Ivy versus 3. This is more of a classic Train than we've been seeing. He takes a whole bunch of damage, but luckily for the team, he doesn't end up dying. This slows down the attack quite a bit.
Automatic's still close to it. Little bank frag trying to soften him up, but nobody's actually there. Another round where we've got a bit of a stalemate at this A site. Both guys kind of kicking dirt back, puffing their chests a bit, making guttural noises. You know, it's like the heavy weight room at the gym. Oh, but it's Jacob to die first. He tries to move forward into the T-Con. Gratisfaction, scope up, decides to watch the right side and just looks away.
Oh, Grat looking for that flick. Nicely done. Well handled here by 100 Thieves. Stopping that second attempt at the pressure outside. Great flick, necessary flick. And they maintain majority up, so they keep the ability to buy all the grenades they need to. There it is. Kusta sees his life flash before his eyes. And Gen.G are down only on one round. A couple of full outside takes that don't go so well. And all of a sudden, they're back on pistols. And they don't even have a single flash to their name. This might be one of those pseudo timeouts or just a straight up barrel roll into the B site. But it's going to have to be something together.
Yeah, so little to lose. Come on now. Oh yeah, line it up. Line it up. Nice. Not the biggest bout of damage in the world, but
if it even
beautiful.
did 1 damage, I would have said nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Just getting it in the window. You know, that's half the battle.
Yeah, like a running sideways grind wall lineup. That's not something you often see.
We've got a term. What is that? You know, what are those types of grenades?
Swag nades.
This is our chance to, you know, really leave an impact on the Counter-Strike community.
Too much pressure.
It is. Yeah, I need time to think, and I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
So,
we could call it a nose grind lineup. There's a skate term, I think. There's a skate term here.
Ooh. Come on now, Som. Little Deagle, too much to handle versus the M4. So down goes Som. The technicality of the pistol round is swept to the wayside. We move back in with the gun rounds. And as we rack our brains, I do think it'd be a good idea to use a skateboard term. I can't believe that they're remaking Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh my God. That was the biggest.
God.
I thought it was a troll. Every time something like that happens, I check to make sure it's still not April. And I'm like, oh, this is the most beautiful thing ever. We all need a little bit more Tony Hawks in our life. That should be great. Whoa, pace is still high. Yeah, okay, Kusta stands basically no chances. Jacob, who they have to worry about as a sandwich player. He was trying to catch timing on him. That doesn't work out.
Oh my God, I thought that grenade was going to blow Som away, but he just moves so fast forward that nobody can actually stop him. Liaz, he's trying to burn bullets through the smoke. Swapping over to the pistol now. He knows Som's close. Bentet, automatic Som. 3 frags simultaneous. Gen.G back on the board, and it only costs them Kusta. Not that his life is less valuable than the others, but hell, if it takes 1 death to get the 5 kills at a second round on the board, Gen.G are going to take it.
And off his information, they trade the sandwich kill, which is the most important part. They get to hell, which is huge. Liaz once again gets ripped open before even getting to shoot off of the just a peek to get some information to throw a grenade, if that. And yeah, it's this outside take that is purely involving these 3 trains, getting the kills there, fighting for them, and constantly throwing tools, as many as possible, in that direction until they win it.
Kusta threw grenades over top of T-Con, went back to spawn and bought more. Big brain.
That's good. He's got the time to do it. Why not refresh the kit?
Whoa, get out, get out. As 2 Molotovs would have been real susceptible to someone swooping down, but what that does, of course, is ensures nobody's on the hot flank for Gen.G. They're gonna sink their teeth into this B bomb site, it seems. As right back behind him. Som? Well, he's gonna throw his smoke up and over. That's a deep Z smoke. They also have one on the shelf above here, so they're gonna decide to run forward. Az is wasting no time on the flank, though. He's ready for it. Automatic. Op shot connects versus JKS, and that's a big player to take out of the equation. Oh my goodness, Azza actually decides not to go for the hard flank, instead doubling back towards Z. Kusta activates inside of the trains, and it's traded by Liaz once more, back to the favor of Gen.G. 3 versus 2, and the CTs are out. They tap. A 3rd round for Gen.G, and they're really starting to roll in the momentum. Check out the cash here for 100 Thieves. These 2 weapon saves will be crucial.
And this is a more classic bout of Counter-Strike. The pace is a lot different from a lot of the matches that we've been seeing. I really like the way that Gen.G approached the B side. I wasn't mad at the way that 100 Thieves played it because they had ladder room control and the 2 players on B. They were well set up for either a B side take or a B fake to ladder. And so they had their option covered from that perspective. But Gen.G, once they shoehorned their way into the site, they all got into very good spots. And just as Kusta should have done in that situation, is he should be looking to take a fight and then getting info so that Bentet can trade. But you don't really want to get peaked in that situation. You would like to be the aggressor because you've gotten so far so quickly. So now Gen.G come up with another round, and again, their executions, sites aside, have been great from a fundamental perspective. 100 Thieves will be saving the couple of guns they have, bringing them in this round, but not buying behind them. Chance here for a Gen.G to tie up nice and early. And it's at this point in the game where I couldn't be less clear about who's actually the better team. Certainly seeing good things from both sides.
Jacob tries to give chase, just sees the feet fly back up the ladder. Kusta sees a bit of a shadow down here at the B site. That is one. No, excuse me. I thought it was Azza for a moment, but it is not one of the weapons. Both those rifles still grouped up on the outer yard. Som, he's going to regain vision as the smoke fades. And there is a chance for Azza, who wraps back around the depths of Ivy to try and find Som here. He's got to make sure he doesn't stand on a common lineup, or else maybe he gets spammed through smoke. That'd be a great way for the CTs to start it off. Som has wind of his proximity. Eliminates him quickly. Liaz trying to turn his attention back, eats the full flash. Not quite sure if Gen.G are coming, but they're down to the 35-second mark. They're walking bodies onto the B site. Good job they cleared that corner well. And yeah, it goes from bad to worse. Som, he gets out onto the A site. He's killing people left, right, and center. Bomb still has options open. This is a round for Gen.G, no doubt. 5 survivors by the looks of it.
It didn't look like there was going to be 5 survivors with how close they were to getting some of those kills, but Som, stellar awareness on Ivy to make sure to fight but not overcommit, and then to turn his attention in case there is somebody else to come and shoot him. And oh, at least the USB kill comes in on the op. They'll be able to recollect it. But yeah, that's at least get the 1 kill with the USP. That's kind of nice. So 100 Thieves now, they'll buy up, they'll try it again. Again, some of their CT setups look good. I think they're covering a good amount of options without taking too many risks, and are well set up to defend against executes. The second half of the battle, of course, is relying on your players holding sites to trade out favorably, or if not, to trade out 1 for 1 and then get the rotates in and try to work on those fast flanks. But Gen.G are great about entertaining different choke points simultaneously and making it unclear. And even as myself as a spectator, they're doing a good job making it unclear exactly what they want to try to do. So 100 Thieves
the
have
pain
to kind
train.
Oh yeah, I've got a fun fact.
When Bentet was on Tai Lu, they had a 17 win streak on train in 2019.
That's pretty awesome. I imagine a lot of those wins were versus other Chinese teams, like in a region obviously where they're the strongest. They don't want to take away from it, but if it is versus all international teams, that's first of all incredible. I feel like that should have grabbed headlines.
Which is why it is a case of region lock. Good flashbang, close to automatic. He just throws himself into the front line. Azza was trying to line up multiple bodies, but the next thing you know, automatic was giving him the bear hug. Cost him his life. Even 4v4. CT's getting a little curious here at the front of the A-bomb site. And yeah, the more they move forward, the more they're going to realize maybe they should be bolstering B, because JKS is in the depths of it all, very much alone. They have seen nothing at the A site, so you know they're going to start moving over, but it could be too late. Gen.G already down ramp, not announcing themselves until they're at the base of the ramp already. We'll have to see if JKS can put up any sort of defense. Bentet does seem to want to move forward here. He's going to just try and lurk beneath the feet of JKS, who's peeking it cautiously. He's ready in expectation with Gratisfaction by his side. It's a 4v3 now. Come on, 100 Thieves. Let's get this retake rolling. Kusta gonna try to knock bodies back with the op. Z-Smoke fades. His sniper connects to the mark. And now Kusta has to jump to try and dodge the fire, but that's not fast enough. Som, deep Molotov, throws it downwards, and they have not stuck this bomb, so he doesn't have to peek, but he goes out anyways, trying to take players with him. He kills JKS at the top of the ladder, and somebody has to defuse. Som, he's not able to get Gratisfaction fast enough. It comes down to the wire. Gen.G shooting for the 5th. Oh, they've got it. The explosion sends Gratisfaction packing, and that's the offense in the lead.
Officially, the 1v3 for Som in the post plant with just a Molotov because they had no more retake utility left over. Thought for sure they'd have at least one smoke because everything went so swimmingly up until that point. there was the point where Bentet was lurking down, and you saw how 100 Thieves were not going to let Gen.G fool them twice. They got that kill without a trade. They didn't worry about a second one. They made a lot of progress. The trades were nice. But yeah, just not having a smoke. There's not much you can do about it. You can't counter the Molotov when there's no time and no smoke.
Daps ready to start picking up pieces here towards Ivy as well. Not a good look for what's left of 100 Thieves. Liaz with the solo Colt.
Oh, Colt. People are going to think you played 1.6, my friend.
That's what I'm trying to make them think.
Good term. And Jacob's going to have the shadow advantage. Oh, okay. Oh, he actually didn't. Oh, sorry. It would have been Kusta had the shadow advantage if Jacob started walking forward. That's my mistake. But either way, I think if he didn't switch, he would have been just fine to nail that shot. Hey, this round could have got more competitive. Big pickup here by JKS. Long lines of sights from his spot. This is where you would normally be offing. He's happy to do it. Flash goes over. Clearly imperfect, though, and Depth dismantles both. That's a great round for Gen.G from the perspective that they just play it patiently. 100 Thieves definitely got close there.
Yeah, you know, I think you said it best, right? That's a big pickup, quite literally. JKS putting his paws on the op, but Daps' patience is what pays off. He holds the Z peak, kills that player, then swings to what he knows is the biggest threat because he is the player who has now been compromised, his position known to the enemy, and a nice little two-piece there for Daps.
Yeah.
Damian Steele, back at the helm of another awesome North American project. You just know that he gets the best out of promising new players.
He does.
Just don't die, Forehead. Gen.G win 4v5 almost twice as often as 100 Thieves do on train. Last 6 months.
I'd like to see the actual numbers there. That's a pretty damning stat, to be honest. And that's not even heads up. That's just in general. That's pretty crazy. 2 times as many man advantaged or man disadvantaged situations. Now, for those of people who may be for the uninitiated, like the
noobs.
Yeah, it's a nicer way to say that. But yeah, it's one of those stats that dominates the top level. 5v4s are won close to 80% of the time amongst the tier 1. And so any teams that have a high 4v5 percentage, that means that their protocols trickle down properly from the 5v5 setups into the 4vx setups. They also maintain confidence that they can win the round, which is huge. A lot of teams you see get extremely scared when they go down a man, and they only make their disadvantage, even worse by throwing more bodies at the problem, making individual plays as opposed to thinking as a team. So that speaks to Gen.G and their recent form, I think, in a big way.
Som broke his chair. That's why we had to pause.
Yeah, I sometimes have released farts so strong that similar things happen.
I think maybe he's getting too used to the professional player life, you know, that waistline.
Yeah, he's put on the quarantine 15.
Ooh, double op setup, already taking damage. Could argue Liaz lucky to be alive. He would have lost all of his grenades as well. So he'll skate away with 16 HP and just really appreciate life for the moment. Ah, Kusta.
Well, what can you say about that one?
Kusta the killer. Spams Azza through the floorboards. They peek into T-Con, they see nothing. 100 Thieves just kind of letting Gen.G make plays, and I feel like that has been a bit of an issue. You know, Gen.G haven't really been interrupted all too often. JKS though, here in the box halls, ready for the second peek. Nicely done. 2 headshot kills there versus Kusta and Bentet. He drops. Oh no!
Missed the ladder. Wasn't going far enough to hit the pallet. Missed the ladder as the second option. They still have the man advantage. Luckily, thank you to Liaz. But that's a tragic way to die after such a fantastic hold. Looks like the bomb will get planted, and oh my god. If this
Daps
round
is
goes
ready
on
to
long
come
enough, Daps is he's here to get a free kill. Oh
my
he's
God,
gonna see
he
someone
sees-
in the corner of his screen. Yeah, I don't even know if he was fully
There's a
aware of
molly
that.
burning. There's a molly burning. So Daps is 100% going to catch up. Get your gun out. AK swapping back over. He's spotted, nearly killed by Gratisfaction, who then does pick it up. That is big for Grat to turn back and slap him. It's automatic, fully blind. Big retake here for 100 Thieves. Huge game sense from Gratisfaction to check the flank because they were doomed if not.
What is that round? I think we should replay that round.
It doesn't count, right?
It doesn't really count. Yeah, there's nothing to analyze there. That was literally everybody messed up.
Well, explain to me the formula for gravity. That'll explain
Yeah,
it.
SV gravity 800, and JKS didn't know about the digits.
Logic.
Yeah, no, so he went too far, missed the ladder, and then this was Grat doesn't even pick up the. I don't even know. I mean, Grat had nothing better to do than watch the flank because of the Molotov, but it didn't seem like he was going to worry about it. And then he missed that shot, and then he still got the kill, and then automatic drops 2 shots he should never drop, and then I don't know.
Yeah, turning back around there, like you said, kind of had nothing else to do, so why not?
Yeah.
And that's just like that's a good showing of game sense, really. You know, even if you think that the odds of somebody being there is less than 5%, you have nothing else to do. You're waiting out the Molotov, so cool. Very nice. Misses the first shot as well. That's when I thought Daps was still going to be able to rob it away from them. But Daps probably not expecting to get checked as he had already let 2 players go by.
Loving the double op setups on CT side on train. It's proven to be quite effective. It was great for Cloud9. It's hard to deal with, really. It's expensive, but it's very hard to deal with. Kusta, shows a bit too much leg. Almost never fun being Azar in this situation. They want to try to scare someone out of ladder because they don't want to worry about the fast flank and in case they get whittled down on numbers, and this guy can be a big problem. But if they can't deal with him, taking inner can still work. As long as Azar's too scared to come up the ladder, or they hold it.
And we did see last time Gen.G commit to the B play with numbers. Azar decided not to go for the flank. Instead, doubling back to Z. So curious to see whether he changes face, switches strategy, loosens up a little. Lots of bodies for 100 Thieves over at the A site. Yet again, just JKS. Near same position. Always kind of hanging out back here in the anchor of the oil tankard. Bentet. Close on smoke towards Z. Just a good old 5v5B retake. I'm all for it. Let's see the fireworks unfold. Automatics ready. Oh, collateral. Almost gets the second kill, but at least softens Gratisfaction. Follows up with the next bullet. Connecting is also Liaz. 2 versus 3. It's a man disadvantage for 100 Thieves to play against, but JKS doesn't quite mind. Still on time. Gen.G trades 70 rounds to the 5 of the defense, and they're going to have to bottom out their bank account if they buy here in the 13th.
I think you brought up a good point about 100 Thieves, where you said that they aren't doing an amazing job of interrupting some of these executes, and there is totally an argument for 100 Thieves to say, okay, let's 5v5 retake the B site because there's not 5 good places for them to stand. Therefore, with the right retake utility, we can win. But they didn't have a great retake, and so they maybe either want to get a bit more information or, as you're saying, interrupt some of these executes in a bigger way. Because it feels like Gen.G's executes are quite good, and once they get a lot of space, they're good at closing out the rounds in the post plants. Unlike Furia, Gen.G love their post plants.
It's actually one of the reasons I'm super hyped to hopefully one day see the Gen.G versus Furia again. Whoa. What a clash stylistically. What a clash of talent as well, right? It's great to see Kusta back on a promising roster. I read an article.
Oh, you can read?
Every once in a while, man. You know, I take my time. Wait, hold on. I'm the bilingual one here. Shut up.
I'm French, too.
You say that, but, you know, I don't want to be an elitist.
Ask me something.
I'm
in
better
French.
than that.
Ask me a question in French. I'll answer you.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to do it. I want to see if these pistols can get something done. Liaz. Deagle headshot. That's a start. At least Ivy's cut off, and we haven't seen Gen.G go with many numbers on Ivy too often. So Kusta just tearing up dirt here on the bomb site itself. Gratisfaction, not destined to stand longer than that. JKS, nowhere to be found. God, that was such an aggressive...
Yeah, it was a really aggressive and very
really
effective.
aggressive throw.
Yeah,
it bounced off like 6 walls.
He played pinball with that.
It's like watching somebody go up on stage, you know, on The Price is Right, and instead of just dropping the Plinko token, he like shoves it down, like he's playing shuffleboarder or something. Yeah,
you can see how they feel.
Why am I talking about shuffleboard and
Why not?
Price is Right? I feel like I'm 70 years old.
That's what eco rounds are for. That's what I'm told anyway.
Oh, okay.
But for the ladder grenade to get to the doorway, you have to run max speed, and you have to aim at a certain part of the floor, and like it has to go all the way back. I mean, I think JKS did everything except for aim in the correct spot. So some would say maybe the most important part of the whole thing.
Some would say. What do you say when I remind you that Gen.G are now leading 8-5 on the T side of train?
Tabernacle.
Hey, that's all you need, man. Your French is on point. I take back everything I said. Gratisfaction ready here for the T-Con peak. We got bodies jumping around for Gen.G, but it's hard to tell what exactly they're getting up to at the start of their rounds because they're so good at just spreading into default. You know, some teams telegraph their plays, and it's obvious as the spectators of the match. But
the only thing that 100 Thieves are doing really is poking around in T-Comp, but they don't stay there. They aren't pushing down Ivy. They don't have info on Ivy. They get into ladder room, but that's the only other thing. But that's like standard. That's not even real pressure. Oh, a couple of good kills from Liaz. The HE had a big impact, but oh my god, it's all fragging from there on out.
Huge moves.
Sick hold.
Oh, and he even draws automatic into a helping hand from Gratisfaction. Very cool. Very modern.
Somity. Some would say, I've seen you win this, but I'm not exactly sure that I have. Smoke down, 30 seconds, no bomb in the site.
It's not the best look. Not the worst either.
He should be saving, actually. This half's not over. What is he even trying? The bomb's in the site. There's no chance that he pulls that one off. They're just all camping it out. Just go save.
That's true. And actually, now that we check out the money for Gen.G, that one AK could have actually had some impact here. So.
That would have been his AK for this round. He's gonna, well, maybe his team won't buy now because of it, but yeah. Well, hey, at least his team's not trying to hold him back. Yeah, they do buy.
It's true. You only technically lose those rounds when you stop believing in yourself.
It's a fact.
So the belief is real. The result? Not so much. Here's JKS, hyper aggression up into the box halls. A player's already gone past him. Somebody jumped right by. Saw him.
2.
Oh my goodness. And then automatic is like, don't worry. I will pick this up. I will handle them well. And saw him all the way past the oil train. Is able to catch Jacob too. So 3 versus 3, last round of the half, and very well could close as close as possible. 100 Thieves gunning for a 7th. Never wanting to give up more rounds than you win on the CT side of train, but hell, if you can cut it to just 1, then you're all right. Daps gonna have to try to replicate what Som once did, the 1v3 from the top rope, shut down, and the Aussies managed to pull this one off. 7-8 at the end of their CT side. It's a 3-piece from Gratisfaction there in the final round. We'll be right back after the break with the second half.
Never let them get you down. The ones who can't imagine who you really are. Oh, you really don't want them around. They can't see the truth, no. Baby, we belong among the highest stars. I can't see what you're gonna do. Oh, try to window with me, 'cause you know I believe we can fly where the eagles go to be free. never gonna let you go. Now that you and I have flown into the sun, oh, we're bathing in the afterglow. Here we are together on the journey of our lives. The future has begun, and I know what we're gonna do. Oh, try to reach out with me, 'cause you know I believe we can fly where the eagles go to be free. We can step out tonight on the air that we breathe. We can fly where the eagles go to be free. Try your wings out with me, 'cause you know I believe we can fly where the eagles go to be free. We can step out tonight on the air that we breathe. We can fly where the eagles go to be free. Go to be free. Go to be free. Try to reach out with me, 'cause you know I believe we can fly where the eagles go to be free. We can step out tonight on the air that we breathe. We can fly where the eagles go to be free.
Welcome back, my friends.
Thank you.
8-7 is where we have left off. And honestly, this is a tough one to call. 100 Thieves just kind of let Gen.G making the moves there on that T side. Didn't really get up in their faces, very much sat back and allowed the half to unfold in front of them. Whether or
Here's
not
the
they can
thing.
take control of the map, we'll find
That's
out.
another question. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well,
Tell
this
me.
round is, off to a flying start. So take it away, Connor.
All right, you hold that point. We'll get back to it. Gratisfaction slapping Kusta down there through the tip of the smoke. He's even trying to run around the plant train, and hell, it's working out well. Ventet removed, 5v2. Som and Daps.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Already almost back to the even keel. Som tapping for the head, gets it done. He's on for the ace. And Daps, well, he can't manage a single kill here, so Som's gonna have everything to do. Knows he's close, he needs the headshot, and it was right there for him. 100 Thieves tying it up at 8 early on.
Yeah, it came way too close for comfort there in the 2v5 situation. But a good strat that works out, pretty simple. Rush the bomb site, smoke right side, wrap, and crush the rotators. And 100 Thieves will tie up off of that. Yeah, who won the half in terms of the quality of the rounds? It's hard to say, but yeah, you could definitely look at Gen.G and be like, wow, they got away with a lot more than they probably should have. And 100 Thieves didn't put up much of a fight map control-wise to give us a good case for why they should have done well. This is a nice eco strat, establish hell control to allow your Ivy guys to come out and focus forward. Oh my god, apex of the jump, scout headshot by Som. We are really rolling back the years.
He was, but he, and then
That
with the,
you're allowed to
Bruh.
do that. That was all, like, so you can see the scope refocuses now. Like they put that
you're-
back in the game, but you
no, you're not allowed to do that.
the
Don't
window
lie
of
to the
time
people.
is obviously a lot smaller.
Unbelievable. Okay.
That was pretty sweet.
Sorry to 100 Thieves for completely ignoring everything they did in that round, because honestly, Som starstruck me with that jumping scout shot. But yes, at the end of the day, 100 Thieves still better off for it. They come in with Le Pipi Bison on Gratisfaction. He's looking for some money to be made. Azza, also on the SMG, just starting to shoot the feet out from beneath the train. Kusta up in the office, doing paperwork, pushing pencils, and now walking to his untimely death. They're coming for him. As they planted the B bomb site, 100 Thieves did a really good job at minimizing any sorts of losses. The MAC-10 got a couple of kills, but the other 3 frags go to the rifleman there. So curious to see what comes of the Bison in this one, but a little timeout first to catch our breath.
100 Thieves are a very, very strong train team. They always have been. They've definitely been able to keep this map in their map pool. And yeah, I think a lot of the stuff they did was good. It just felt a bit shallow. There wasn't much depth to their play in the first half, and that's where Gen.G was able to exploit them. But now that we move on to the T side, we get to see 100 Thieves control the pace a lot more, maybe have a more successful T side than they did on CT, because Gen.G, for the most part, will have to sit and wait. But you'd like to see Gen.G try to scour out some more map control and do a little bit to the 100 Thieves what they couldn't do to Gen.G. Generation G. When Azza started playing CSGO professionally, Som was 10 years old. Som had a better career KD. Som has a better career KD. I see.
Damn,
yeah,
that's like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah. 10 years old. Trying to think what, yeah, well, that's pretty nuts. Bits, you know, obviously Som's not played as many matches and as many good teams. That's why you highlight the fact that the KD status is skewed a little bit, but still impressive. His recent form, Som, has dropped off a cliff. It has really, I mean, it went from a really high to MVP, from MVP of DreamHack Anaheim to all the way kind of back down to well before into last year. So it's nice to see him playing really well, because we know what he can do.
Oh, damn. This right off of the pause did not let you catch your breath. Came out of nowhere with the all-out T-Con hit into the A site. Sometimes I love that, you know, the throwback. Astralis, Virtus Pro, Glaive calls the rut. You know, it's just ever since that moment, it's been ingrained in our minds that off of the pause, you crank the dial to a hard 10. You rip the dial off the interface. You throw it out the window, and you just rock
the little
and roll.
Plastic knob that's under the dial that sometimes you have to turn when you lose the dial. That's really annoying to turn, but you crank it all the way over.
Yeah, it's like the volume knob on my first car.
Yeah, exactly.
Automatic looking to hang on to the op. Oh, he misses the shot on a rapid moving Azzer, who's definitely going to come through this. Come on. He gets
This is the other thing that's backwards, is Tim's having an off game, but his recent form is pretty spectacular. In general, he's been playing very well, and pretty consistently well, in fact. He got out of a trough and is now like halfway to a peak and has been sitting there for a bit. So, you know, he in this game, he's dropped quite a few shots, which is a bit worrying, I think, for Gen.G. But yeah, it's strange when you compare that to how well he's been playing in general.
Daps on his own at the B site. Settle down, buddy. Run away. A couple bodies almost able to drop him. All he had was this CZ and no teammate near enough, but Automatic gets called back through Z. Kusta. Ooh, Kusta, he slipped through T-Con, gets a free AK because Liaz was tasked with holding the Ivy flank. Now that's actually huge. A second weapon picked up, and the terrorists get forced into the lying weight of Automatic, who actually drops the bomb of all things. Another player comes down before there's any sort of smoke to get them out. No flash either, but JKS, crab walking on the top rope, gets the head of Kusta, and Som's Deeg with Automatic's op is enough to rob the round. A single AWP and an early call by Daps to stack that B site is what pans out.
Yeah, his ADR bumps way up off of this round, and that's nice. I mean, yeah, it makes more sense. It speaks more to his consistency that is able to pick it up. Great round from him, and JKS, as you tried to characterize, was a really great threat there from the upper rafters. Could have been the make or break of the round. If Automatic dies, everything else could fall apart as well. So good to see him back in form. Just like that, that's all it is. Oh, Automatic bottled and pushed. Smoke to allow him to fall back, and he'll get away with it. I think taking a single bullet, maybe in the foot. Not much damage dealt. Fighting for map control, and 100 Thieves turn their attention to Ivy a little bit. And teams are playing Ivy less and less these days because of the smokes and the amount of nades that can bounce your way. But that doesn't mean you can ignore it. Ivy is a serious threat to outside, and what makes Train's A site so special. It's the third choke point to enter to outside if you disregard T-Con and Z. And it's all given to the T's at the beginning of the round.
They know he's in there. Don't want to put their head over top of the hole. Like looking down the barrel of a gun. It's never really a good idea.
Yeah, keep your guns locked away. Play Counter-Strike.
Daps puts down a Molotov at the 30-second mark. This is going to burn the clock to about 20. And then they're actually going to throw a smoke in it to really try to force the issue. Daps, he's looking to regain vision as JKS with the long-range headshot cracks open the B bomb site. That's a big one. A big one to take because Daps was up next and he only got that one kill on close proximity. They knew it was coming. The utility called it. Bentet shoots at the back of Azza, draws him into the duel, and gets this to the 2v3. But now Som is going to have to try and clutch. He hears the footsteps nearby, and he's gone.
Yeah, they call it a day. Really sick entry. Was that JKS or Jacob from Heaven?
JKS from Heaven, I believe.
Yeah,
because he does have 3 frags.
Took out Tim on Cloud. That was really beautiful, that swing. And I think there was must have been some kind of flash here that helped him out at least a little bit. Maybe one of the flashbangs that went into the site helped him out with that peak. Yeah, Tim really did stand a chance. And they crushed it. 12-9, 3 rounds lead here for 100 Thieves. Looking super solid on the T side. Execute's going well. Shots are being connected. The trades are being met. And there's a good amount of kind of explosivity when it comes to their executes that is complementing their players really well. JKS, sky high ADR, 116 so far in the game. Some say the best player in Australia. Others say that's an undeniable fact.
Well, the only Australian to break into the HLTV top 20. So it is an undeniable fact.
There we go. HLTV confirmed right there.
As it tends to be. As it pondering the pollution, throws a smoke over to the A site. Bentet's gonna get a flashbang dropped on his head and a follow-up. Looks away. Was that a decoy?
I think it might have been. Yeah, didn't hear a flash pop at all. Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
It totally could have been.
I'm jumping in server to go check.
Ooh, JKS. Whoa, that's a good trade. It's actually a 1-on-2 situation. Okay, it's a 1-on-1 situation. Automatic grabs that frag, goes ahead and tries to pick up some extra utility. It won't be on the ramp. That's the biggest issue. It's actually up top and Automatic. He is not tapping the bomb just yet and hasn't tapped it yet. So there's not much reason to peek. And as he's looking for it, finds the perfect moment to peek out.
Yeah, I thought that was all unfolding over towards the drop down. It was a flashbang. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I didn't see the flash either, but maybe from his perspective, the other perspective, since he dodged it well. Not sure, but either way, it was kind of a tricky drop. Like, it was really hard to tell when they were actually going to fall, and Bentet seemed to have just as much problems as we did. At least me, figuring out when the drop was going to come in.
I was confused. And because of that, I actually missed all of Automatic's op shots, but he did have a 3-piece in that round. 100 Thieves very quickly starting to really pummel the defense here. 4-round advantage. Kusta blasts Jacob's face off through his feet. He's eaten his own toes. Which, you know, can do as you will.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to use that as a sign to get over to the B site. Going to throw the bomb to Liaz. This is going to be majority of their members up on the high road. Automatic inside of the bomb site. Good damage early by that scout. And they're trying to hang on. Not doing a bad job either. They got that man advantage. 50 seconds. Kusta coming in from behind. And Gratisfaction, well, he's down for the count. The Deagles pan out. And that's Gen.G with the 10th.
Always a bit risky peering into the abyss, looking down into the ladder room. Risk stuff like this happening, especially versus the pistols. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. Now, it can be safe sometimes.
Was there a scout in that play, or am I crazy?
It could have been automatic. I don't know if he had a scout or not. I think he only had a deagle. I think there was somebody in Z with some kind of scopes gun for sure. A mixed bag. After 20 rounds, Daps had 40 enemies flashed with 41 ADR in 5 maps, sitting top of the scoreboard with 6 kills.
Oh, 5 MVPs.
And 5 MVPs. Oh, wow.
My brain also read that as maps.
Yeah, okay.
Now it makes way more sense, right?
Yeah.
40 enemies flashed. He has nearly as many enemies flashed as ADR. That's what I really took away from that stat.
Yeah. I love these abstract comparisons. Really, these really are fun facts.
Isn't this a wild rodeo? We had our boys on the Aussie side stringing so many rounds together, but that last pistol round win from Gen.G actually forces them back down into the economic dumps. It's not going to stop JKS from catching Bentet first and foremost. That's the kill inside of ladder. But over here on Ivy, where Som dries our eyes, we have kills aplenty. Now he does smoke off the 3rd player and decide to look elsewhere, which works out for him. Comes back, grabs another. He has 1 HP and 4 frags to his name.
The last one could be the biggest. Automatic the USP from camera finishes the job. Damn, Kusta, he can clock out early. He done real good today. This is a fast shot onto Lias. Everybody here. It was kind of a nice moment for Som. And yeah, he stops the aggression from all perspectives. Azar did his best to bait everyone to get to that point, and he still got killed. It still feels like anyone's game, but I do feel like 100 Thieves definitely look a lot better in this side than maybe even Gen.G did in the first half. So could come down to a few key plays, huge individual moments, or just the overall strategies working out well. But definitely 100 Thieves are hitting shots and have strong strategies. We're looking at the star himself, JKS, right now. Again, 23 and 14. Not dying to the deagling player at the bottom of ladder. Looking for the drop to get control of things. There's no one in the ladder to stop them. And yeah, Gen.G don't have that much map control. They're just falling back on this 2-op setup to be able to play static.
Ooh, that grenade. Oh, hurts if you're Jacob. He's just gonna decide to run right out. Little drive-by Galil. Doesn't even stop to take aim. Just cuts down one of the CTs. But Bentet and Kusta each with a kill apiece. Keeping it even at 3 players each. We do have Daps doubling back through the CT spawn. Nothing wrong with that. Liaz, though, on the other side of smoke, he's going to go down. That bomb plant was actually a fake. They're trying to get Bentet to make his play, and he's doing it and then some. Gratisfaction, he's going to sprint for the plant at B.
Yeah, they don't even know it yet. They're not even going to try. He's got the op, too, so he's got their hands tied for the moment. And once the bomb gets planted, they've sussed this out. They'll have to run inside and try to get the better of Gratisfaction. How is he going to come up with this first kill? Could mean everything.
He's going to expect them to be coming from the A site. Just don't give up your back to Z. He's caught jumping down to 15 HP. He's very much concerned that they're coming in from elsewhere. That Molotov spells disaster. Daps guns him down as he's burned into the open. And that's Gen.G now piecing together 3 rounds in a row. They're 4th on the CT side. And yet they're still not tied. 1 round behind 100 Thieves for now. But Bentet, big play to cut down Jacob and then to get this kill versus Liaz. You know, he's just doing a really good job of getting himself into cover, isolating 1 versus 1s, and then, yeah, that tap out of the head of the player towards ladder. Tough pill to swallow for 100 Thieves, but they're going to have to come in here with a limited buy. Still lots of tools to try and play with, so I'd love to see their creativity, but they just don't have the hardware, the heavy-hitting guns, not a part of this equation in the 26th round.
Ironically, the pistols might be a nice remedy to the double op setup. It can alleviate some of the pressure, be able to rush down the ops. 1 entry means even more than ever before. So they've got a few grenades as well for the execute. This could potentially be pretty good for them. The retake is obviously always a possibility for Gen.G, but you never know when there's a Tech 9 knocking on your door.
Deep Molotov, not going to be able to run through that one. What's nice about the bountiful amounts of utility here for 100 Thieves is that they can waste some. You know, this could have been a fake. It's not actually. Hard commitment down the ramp. Deep smokes as well. Really making the CTs uncomfortable by denying any sort of close control. But here's Daps and Bentet with a kill apiece. And Bentet, well, he's happily going to try and fire off versus these pistol players. Liaz with a deagle up. Nice. Blasts automatic into tomorrow. Liaz looking for another one. Even rails Som. Nice. He's still going. He even gets his hands onto the M4, sees the player above him, and he has given us a one-man show. But the show comes to a close, and low HP on 2 of Gen.G's players. It is tied up at 13 rounds apiece. We have been getting close maps all day long, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, definitely. And different styles the whole way through. Now, this round comes somewhat close, marginally close. I mean, Liaz is pretty much gets the 2 constellation frags. Would have been miraculous for him to get the 3rd and, you know, maybe win that round. Obviously, one of the rarest possible situations to be able to happen. 24 kills though. He had such a stellar CP side as a B anchor, getting all of those kills. He is definitely playing lights out, and sometimes he's one of the players that's looked at as relatively inconsistent, but he's also, I'd say, one of the smartest players on the team. And it's really cool when he's got to the brains are going, and also the brawn's going.
He's reading books and lifting weights at the very same time. I've actually seen Semler do that. Kusta,
I've seen that.
Good damage off the top of the train, and it's still Azur slain. He got himself 2 kills though, so very nicely done. Som cooking, roasting back here by Ivy, and Justin Savage, 1v3. Guns down automatic first and foremost. However, there's a player to his right, Som. He just missed the shot, and now KKS, he's ready for this. A single kill separates him and his team from a 14th round and the lead, but he doesn't have the bomb, and Daps shuts it all down. He doesn't have the most amount of kills, but certainly has found impact with those 13 frags. Gen.G to the 14th first, and 100 Thieves called a pause.
Despite these being some of the most expensive losses that they've had, they still have such a big bank to their names. And this is a nice read by Daps. You know, the reposition's perfect, and JKS at the back of his mind's like, maybe he could have got here. I'll just check this, but it's not enough in terms of commitment to get one over on Daps with crosshair placement like that. Daps update: 47 enemies flashed, 47 ADR, and 8 MVPs. What's the most important one? What's the most important stat, Connor?
Not the ADR. So I'm gonna say enemies flashed.
Could be important for the wrong reasons.
I'm a flasher myself, so I'm a fan of Daps.
Yeah, it's actually really annoying and distracting when you do that. Especially on lands.
Double ops up. Got a couple cannons here. Oh man, 100 Thieves, they're gonna do it again. Remember, off of the last pause, they decide to just change the tempo, crank the aggression, and try to charge at this outer yard. They've lost a body already. Bentet's gonna go up into the office. Azur's throwing flashbangs high, just trying to keep his team alive. And well, they still have smokes to play. Jacob drops the last piece of utility other than Azza's flash. Kusta, he's gonna get boosted inside of Z for the 2-piece. Now they've got vision on the player towards ladder, and Azur has everything to do. Well, there's the first one. Him and JKS trying to fight back in the 2 versus 5. You'd think this is unwinnable, and yet they're still trying their damnedest. He taps inside of the smoke, and they've done it. They've pulled it out of thin air. 100 Thieves tie at 14.
These are razor thin margins that we're seeing these rounds won on, and it's a crazy execute outside that ends up closing it out for 100 Thieves. JKS, gotta love his marksmanship and his ability to stay calm in these high pressure situations. We've seen so many times people spraying into smokes in the completely wrong direction. Instead, he taps to see if there's blood that comes out and then completes the kill, and that allows 100 Thieves to get to this 14th in peace. And they've earned a save situation here for Gen.G, or should I say a force. They've actually got an op on automatic, a scout on Bentet, and just pistols on the rest of them. It'll really come down to automatic, see if he can get a kill, or some. Another Deagle 3K maybe. He gets 2 off body shots, Gratisfaction trades back, but it's still Gen.G, 3 players up.
Oh, he's just flustered. He's flustered. And Jacob's gonna have to come in with a massive clutch. He peeks into the rifles that have been retrieved by Gen.G. That 2 versus 5 from Azure and JKS, that's supposed to be the map win. They had given 5 rounds in a row to Gen.G. They miraculously win a 2 versus 5 that gets them a near anti-eco, and Jacob is 1 frag away from keeping that dream rolling. He has 3 frags in this one. The individuals starting to step up here in the last few waning rounds of map 1. He has a gap to work with, but Kusta's decided to leave, giving him bomb and giving him a chance to breathe.
Oh my God, he seems to have an idea that might have happened. When he clears this out, I bet he goes back. Well, he's gonna grab the bomb, of course. Oh, but it looks like he's just working on flanking where he thought Kusta may have gone. Kusta goes one better into heaven. This means B is a bit more open, obviously, but yeah, it looks like Jacob has an idea of exactly what kind of play he was trying to make. Just wondering, based on time, if he was going to try it. So now with all the confidence in the world as to where he's gone, what is the post-plant situation?
First, he's gonna plant on default. 6 seconds to spare. Double flashbang to try and play with. He sees Kusta, both players confirming one another's position. And Jacob makes it his mission to keep 100 Thieves in the lead. 15-14, they secure overtime at least here on their opponent's map choice, but it takes individual prowess and then some. Again, that 2 versus 5 last round, Jacob coming in big with the 4K, but most importantly, that 1v3 clutch. He's got 16 kills, and I would argue, just like Daps, not the most amount of frags across the map, but definitely impactful ones.
Oh man, especially round 29. I mean, these were the pressure mounts. Of course, not all kills are made equal, and we see that versus that eco. Absolutely pivotal that he makes that play, and man, did he look smart doing it. The amounts of prescience he had in that 1v1 situation versus Kusta, knowing exactly what kind of play Kusta was making, blind, is beautiful. I'll get to reset and have an even easier round to win. Oh, but the challenges never cease to stop, do they? Bentet, well, he doesn't get away with murder. He gets traded, in fact. Nice from Jacob once again.
Yeah, eye for an eye. Automatic, just tracking people through walls here, listening to their footsteps, calling these audibles, confirming the information, dodging the flashbangs, saw him with a deagle, lends a helping hand, and then drops bomb. Oh my, this one's not done yet. Keep your eyes on Daps, fast flank, denied by Jacob. Can he step up to the plate 2 rounds back to back? Well, they've got 40 seconds, and he's gonna call for that bomb to sprint over to the B site. Jacob's trying to beat Song into position. It's a long-range duel. Kusta dies to it, and Kusta even hit the shot, but Jacob, he survives the deagle bullet, and now Song gonna have to step up big. 100 health, Kevlar, flashbang, AK, and a flank that goes unbeknownst to 100 Thieves. It's all about the timing. It all boils down whether they watch this, and it looks like Liaz has eyes turned. Song with 1, but 100 Thieves, they've made it happen. 16-14, it took the entirety of regulation, but they pick up their map win on train. Their opponent's map pick at that, and an incredibly close affair at times. I mean, we saw that spree of rounds coming out of Gen.G. Looked like they were going to shut it down at the waning few final moments of that CT side. But if there's 2 rounds we have to highlight, and I'm sure our analysts will, it's that 2v5 at the end and Jacob's big clutch. We'll see you guys after the break for map 2.